Welcome in to 76ers Now. I am Jake Chipper, filling in here for Chase Sr. as he is on vacation. And on the show today, we're going to be taking your questions from our subscribers, hot takes, analysis, everything that we got over on our YouTube community tab. Love to, get the audience involved and hear from you guys. You always are hearing from us here on the show, so I want to hear from y'all and hear what you guys have to say. Now, before we get into it, speaking of the real ones, I got to give a huge shout out to all of our subscribers and all of our viewers because guys, we just surpassed 19,000 subs here on the channel. This month of July has just been incredible. On 76ers Now, we have picked up, I believe, over 1,500 subs this month alone. Really, ever since the draft and free agency, we've had a huge influx of supporters and subscribers. So I want to give a big thank you to all of you. But let's not stop there. Let's keep it going. 20K is our next big milestone, and that is a huge number to reach. So again, thank you to all of you. When you subscribe, you're a winner at the end of the day. You get news, rumors, analysis all year long, almost every day at this point. So thank you again. Make sure you hit that sub button. Help us get to 20K. Without further ado, let's get into some of your questions. This first one coming from Jatraj. I hope I said that right. Gordon Hayward is the perfect fit for the Sixers because his three-point shooting is very good, making the Sixers unbelievable. So we talked about Gordon Hayward a few times here on the channel, and I'm not sure if I would say his three-point shooting is unbelievable. Back in his days with the Utah Jazz, Gordon Hayward was an all-star level player, one of the better players in the league, and goes to Boston, has the injury, and went to Charlotte. Hasn't really been the same player over the last few years. Went to OKC this year and couldn't really find his way in the rotation. Now his numbers do still look good. 41% from three. Year before that, 32, 39, 41. So he definitely is still a capable player. And I do think for a vet min contract, Sixers have two open roster spots left. Daryl Morey said they're going to keep one open, so they have one spot left to fill. I think Gordon Hayward could be, a low-risk, high-reward type of player almost. You hope that he can give you anything off the bench. He can handle it a little bit. He should get a lot of open catch-and-shoot shots. So hopefully Gordon Hayward will be a solid addition. Coming up next, Charles Hamilton. What players are the Sixers looking to fill that last spot? I assume it's a big. So Daryl Morey did say, again, they have two roster spots open. He wants to keep one available in the regular season for flexibility in case they see another need come up that they need to fill. So he's going to be filling that spot. So who can they look to fill that last roster spot? I got four guys here that could fill that rebounding need for the Sixers because Daryl Morey said, and we saw it in the playoffs last year, they need rebounding help bad. The Knicks, with Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein dominated on the glass. A large part of that was because Embiid couldn't really move around too much on his knee, and you had players like Tobias Harris, Kelly Oubre trying to crash the glass. Didn't really work out so well. So my number one free agent target for the Sixers at this point is Precious Achiuwa. Was with the Knicks last year, and I think he's a great energy guy. He could play the 4 or the 5, I do believe. Now his three-point shot is still a work in progress, still coming along a little bit, but I don't really love him out there anyways. I like him crashing the offensive glass, getting rebounds, being a hustling energy guy. I know you signed Andre Drummond, but I don't really think I could see Drummond and Embiid playing together. I could see Achiuwa on there. Next we got JT Thor, who against Team USA playing for South Sudan in that game, that was like a 40-point spread where South Sudan took it down to the buzzer. JT Thor was up there battling against LeBron James, Joel Embiid, all those guys on Team USA. Actually hit a go-ahead three with about 20 seconds left. Now, of course, South Sudan couldn't close that game out, but a young player still. Athletic, certainly has some upside. Lamar Stevens, not really going to be that typical, four-man to get those rebounds, but 6'6", but he plays bigger than his height. He's a physical player. Offense is still coming along. And, of course, Marcus Morris, we know him good and well here in Philadelphia. Might not fill the rebounding problem, but, wing who can get some open shots going. Wouldn't mind seeing Marcus Morris return to Philadelphia. He did have a key to the city, by the way. So would like to see him back. But I gave you 4 names here on the show. You chime in now. What is one player that you think Philly should sign to fill the last roster spot? Again, they have 2 left. They want to keep one open, so one more spot to fill. You let me know. Is it one of those 4 guys I mentioned or Gordon Hayward? Is it somebody else? Let me know in the comments section right now. Next, we got Ken J. I'm going to call you Ken J. Do you think Jared McCain can get into the rotation this season? So can he? I'm sure he can. I think he has certainly the ability to, but do I think he will? No. And it's not because, I think it's a bad pick by the Sixers and they should have gone elsewhere. I think the McCain pick was a great pick, and I think certainly maybe by the end of the year or come next year, he can be a really, really good piece for the Sixers team. But I think there's a couple reasons why I don't think he'll be in the rotation this season. One, Nick Nurse just is notorious, even going back to his days in Toronto, for not really playing young players, especially rookies. Just a known thing about him. He doesn't like to do it. He likes to play the vets. We kind of saw what the Sixers did, bringing in a Reggie Jackson, returning Kyle Lowry back, bringing in an Eric Gordon. So they kind of filled out that guard rotation with some veterans. And then in Summer League, Jared McCain, struggled with his shot. And I like that he was aggressive and he kept shooting and he was able to get to his spots and get open looks. They just weren't able to fall. So I think he could take a little bit of time here. He's hitting up, Patrick Beverley, asking for some advice in the league. So I like that he is taking the initiative, but I don't see him being able to crack this rotation for the Sixers, at least not, early in the season. Darren's man, do you think the Sixers had the best bench after getting Eric Gordon, Andre Drummond, Kyle Lowry, Ricky Council, Reggie Jackson, not to mention our new draft picks, of course, talking about Jared McCain and Adam Bonus. So it's certainly a good bench and better than they've had in previous years. They're definitely a solidly deep team. But I was thinking about this. I think there's two teams that might have a better bench. You look at the New York Knicks, right? I imagine their starting lineup is going to consist of Brunson, Anunoby, Bridges, Randall, and Robinson. That leaves Josh Hart, Miles McBride, and Dante DiVincenzo coming off the bench. Look, those are a couple guys in Hart and DiVincenzo that were starting for the Knicks. So I think that's probably one of the better benches in the league. You got to think about the OKC Thunder too. Not sure how they'll, run that rotation. They obviously brought in Alex Caruso, Isaiah Hartenstein in the offseason. And they obviously have Shea. They got J-Dub. They got Chet. They got Lou Dort. So some of those guys are going to come off the bench. They brought back Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins. So a very solid roster, very solid rotation. I would probably give them the edge there. But outside of that, look, Sixers got a solid bench now. Upgraded the backup center position like you needed to with Drummond, Eric Gordon. Who's going to come up? You got Ricky Council, KJ Martin, the rookies, of course. So I like what they've done this season, addressing that depth issue off the bench. Ryan Cooper. Could we have signed PG to a 4-year, $200 million contract instead of $212 so we could have had more cap to fill in the roster? And do you think PG would have accepted that offer? Also, would that have freed up enough money for us to sign Laurie before signing the others? So, little two-part here. I'll take the first part. I don't think Paul George would have accepted anything less than the max. The Sixers were very willing to give him the max, and we now know that there were multiple other teams that were willing to give Paul George that max deal. So I don't think he would have signed for anything less than the $212. So, talking hypotheticals there, I don't think there was even any chance of that happening. Regardless, it would not have freed up enough money to go get someone like Laurie. The Sixers right now are well over the salary cap. They're actually just over the first apron right now. So even if he did sign for a little bit less and you waited to sign some of your other free agents, you still wouldn't have had enough money to go get a guy like Laurie. So that's why I like what the Sixers were able to do and still giving Paul George all that money, but then rounding out the roster using their exception on Kelly Oubre, making some good vet mid signings, bringing in Andre Drummond, but there was no chance really ever of PG signing for anything less than the max. And speaking of Paul George, if you want to go get his jersey, they're available right now through our friends at Fanatics. If you use our link right down below, chatsports.com/Paul George, you can get the blue, you can get the white. I'll tell you what, I am definitely going to be getting myself a Paul George jersey for our watch parties this upcoming season. Number 8, PG8. It looks great, and I hope it works out great on the court as well. So make sure you go get yours today. I'm telling you, they're going to go fast. Every Sixers fan is going to want this jersey in their closet. So again, chatsports.com/Paul George. I'll have that in the comment section, as well as the description of this video for easy access for y'all. Go get yourself a Paul George jersey today. Now we got Justin Fowler throwing it back a little bit here to a topic that, can be a little hurtful to some Sixers fans. If Jimmy Butler was still on the Sixers, could a big three of Maxey, Butler, and Embiid win a championship? So I truly believe if these three were still together, they would at least have made a finals run. We never got to see, Butler and Maxey, and never really got to see the full potential of that team come to fruition because of guys like Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris getting big bags from the Sixers. So, look, I know we should be moving on. Shouldn't even be talking about Jimmy and the Sixers anymore because we have Paul George now. We have a team that should be contending for a championship, but it's just tough to look back on those years and think of what could have been with Jimmy Butler. Was such a great fit and good friends with Joel Embiid, but could they have won one? I think they would have at least competed and gotten closer. Would have at least made a conference finals for sure, in my opinion. Next we got J.O. Wants me to give a list of all the things that need to go right in order for the 76ers to win the chip. So a few things here, and I think it's pretty simple here. One, you need to stay healthy. If Embiid isn't healthy come playoff time, you don't have a chance, right? If Paul George isn't healthy come playoff time, you don't have a chance. So number one is health. You need health to finally go your way. Joel Embiid, just said it the other day, like he would trade his MVP trophy for a healthy postseason run. I know how much it kills him not being able to be fully healthy for an entire postseason. Hopefully, this year can be that year. Daryl Morey said they're not going to be playing Joel Embiid in many back-to-backs, if any at all. So we'll see what happens there. But again, the goal should just be to get him healthy. I also think you need to see some progression. If you can see Ricky Council take a huge step up and be a big part of this rotation, continue what he did in Summer League, that will be big. If we see Maxey take another leap, and if we see Paul George kind of put his past playoff struggles behind him and really say, like, I'm going to do what it takes for this team to win. Now, he's come out and he said that in his early appearances with the media in Philadelphia. He's going to have to obviously do that instead of just saying it. But I think if all those things happen and you can get some production off the bench from some of these older vets and they don't fall off, you certainly have at least a chance to compete with the Knicks and the Celtics out in the East. That's in my opinion. Those are things that I think need to happen for the Sixers to have a chance to win the title. You let me know. The Sixers win the championship if. Let me know what you think they need to do to get an NBA title back to Philadelphia down in the comments. That's going to do it for this mailbag here on 76ers Now. Appreciate all you getting those questions in. If you want to get on the next mailbag, be sure to subscribe, turn your notifications on. Take a look at our YouTube community tab over on the YouTube page. It's another way to interact with the channel. Post on there throughout the week. Polls, you can vote on different things. Just get more news items throughout the week. So again, be sure to subscribe, turn those notifications on, hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, and we'll see you next time here on 76ers Now.